Cool. All right, this is how it's going to go. This is Open Grime. We are eott. Today we are in collaboration with the one and only Lighthouse as part of the FCL exhibition at the Brighton Festival. This is the South, the land of the seagulls, officially. And we are eott. We do mental health. We do conversations and clothes around our minds and better mental health. Today, we are using the medium of the grime cypher to talk about our feelings. The topic of discussion today is masculinity. Maybe a bit of creativity, but also opening up. We've got 5 MCs here. Obviously, we've got the super sub, Marshall Mandiago, in the cut every time. And a couple of people as well that might want to join in. My name's Levy. I'll be the host for the evening. And we're going to be having a little one-on-one first. Where's the airs? He'll be here in a sec. We're going to have a little one-on-one first. Going to ask everyone a few questions about opening up and a little bit about masculinity. And then thereafter, we're going to have a talk as a group. And it can be for any of the people to say what they want. Any questions, any Q&A, and I've got a couple prompts. Right, I'm going to choose someone, but is there anyone that wants to go first?
Someone's got to, innit? Someone's got to.
No, bro, one of the 5, innit? One of the 5. Yo, Jay Kari is up first. Cool. What are you saying, bro? What are you saying? What are you saying?
All good.
Are you KG?
Very, very K.
Cool. All right, first question is, we touched on this before already on the camera. Oh, I'm a fucking... Bro. That is alarms as well, bro. That is so peak, bro. Good job we got the B cam, innit? All right, we're back. That is so embarrassing. Anyways, cool. When was the last time you opened up?
First of all, having an alarm at 7:45 is weird. That's very weird. The last time I opened up, probably when I last saw you, to be fair. It was probably like 3 days ago, 4 days ago. And how was something like that. I've always found it a bit difficult to open up, but the older I've got, even though I look about 11, I am 25. The older I've got, I found it easier to talk about how I feel, and it's always way more beneficial than not. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Cool. And like, do you find like there's any challenges of opening up? What sort of things can make it more difficult? You know what I mean?
I think bad experiences beforehand. If you try to open up before, I think before in my life when I've tried to open up about how I felt, it hasn't always been received very well from like family members or whatever. So then it puts that bad kind of attachment emotionally on doing it again. But it's about breaking that and understanding that it's cool to do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. For like a challenge for me sometimes can be like, yeah, the weight and the burden that you might potentially put on someone else, innit? You know what I mean? And I can fear that. But then that also can come from experience. You know what I mean? Because like if we lack the emotional vocabulary and like ears ourselves, then it's a fire. It's not a good fire, but like a bad fire. Not a fire crash, bro. Well, no, look like fire in the booth. Yeah, have that. Cool. All right. So what are some of the dangers of not opening up then?
That's a big question. Some of the dangers of not opening up. I think what I said to you the other day is that if I don't open up, things will boil over. So like the most like tiny things will then become massive if I don't just talk about them. And for me, that's what I said to you the other day. Like I'm a weirdo. I just talk to myself about how I feel just as I'm walking down the street because it gets out there for me. So like it could be like someone bumped into me when they're on their phone or whatever. I think, oh, fucking dickhead, whatever. But it's only a small thing. But as long as I just talk to myself, okay, it was just a mistake. He was on his phone. It's fine. I don't boil over and then like go home and think about it for 3 days. Do you know what I mean? So I just think talking about everything is so beneficial. Like genuinely. And I said the other day to you as well, there's that phrase called trauma dumping. I feel like that's dead. Like your mate's just talking to you, just like listen to him. Do you know what I mean? I think that's dead. If someone's talking to you about something they feel really kind of deeply about, just be a nice person and listen instead of saying the trauma dumping. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, nullifies it a bit, innit? Do you know what I mean? Which is a bit of a shame. But what about as then the receiver? If someone opens up to you, like, do you ever find it troubling? Because kind of like sometimes if I'm feeling like tight-minded or stressed about something, I don't want to hear it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Personally, what about you?
Nah, I mean, I think it's always important to open up to everyone. To listen to everyone open up. Sorry, because if you're say if you're having some mad shit day, and you'd really want someone to listen to you, and I was like, nah, I'm stressed, see you later, do you know what I mean? You're obviously going to feel worse, and like, I just think it's so important whether you know them too much or not, just to hear what they're trying to say, because you don't know how much of an impact that could make to them. Like, that could be like a pretty big moment, just having someone hear you out. It was for me when someone first started hearing me out. That's why I'm so open, because I don't really care who I talk to about how I feel, in the sense of like, I don't know a lot of these people in here, but I'm cool to talk about how I feel, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Sort of.
Cool. Appreciate you. All right, we're going to go one more question, keep it moving. And I ask this because sometimes it can be difficult to like open up like face to face sometimes. So I like to go to the park sometimes and do it. But what's your favorite way of opening up to someone?
You know what I'll do? Before I want to say something to someone, I always write it down in the notes on my phone first. And I'll probably try and leave it for like maybe like a day, just to make sure that like that I actually do feel those certain ways, and it's not just me being like irrational about how I feel, sort of thing. I need to like I'm someone who I'm very like emotional, so if I'm happy, I'm really happy. If I'm annoyed, I'm really annoyed. Do you know what I mean? So, and I've learned I need to take time to rationalize how I actually feel before saying like something which could be quite impactful on the other person if they're close to me. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So just taking time before I actually say it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
So you almost like break it down like a little bit and like, make it simpler for yourself first.
Yeah, I just need to rationalize things before I say something which could be quite big. And if it's someone close to me, I need to talk about how I feel, and it's like, I don't know, really deep. I don't want to just say that if I haven't really thought out fully why I feel like that, and just take time to reflect and be like as objectively honest with myself as I can.
Beautiful. G shit. Make some noise for Jay Kari, please. We've even got the sound effects this time as well. Come on, come on, come on. Yes. JJM, you're next, bro. You're next. Get up here. Get up here. Yes, bro. Enough love. Jeez. Even on the microphone as well. Step us. This is eott and Lighthouse, Open Grime. JJM's up next. Right back to the first question. When was the last time you opened up?
The last time I opened up was probably literally like 30 minutes ago when I walked in here and saw Marshall and he asked me how I'm doing. Because we've kind of tried to make a pact with each other. A bit like the actual, the whole UKG thing. That, you know, when we ask each other how we're doing, we're actually honest. You see what I'm saying? So he said, how are you? And I said, I'll be real, bro. You know, I'm fucking exhausted. Can I swear? All right. I said I'm flipping exhausted because I got essays and like, but yes, and it went really well. He didn't, you know, he didn't belittle me. You know, it was nice, man. Yeah, it was nice.
What are some of the challenges? Or it seems like you're pretty good at it if you're well practiced, but maybe before that, what were some of the challenges of opening up and, you know, being an open man, basically?
I used to be very insecure. I used to be like constantly worried about how other people would view me. Mostly that they just think I'm annoying. Because in fairness, I was quite annoying sometimes. I think we all are. But and I kind of worried that if I open up, it's going to give people an in to, you know, criticize me. You know, if I tell them where I'm feeling vulnerable, then if you wanna, you know, put me down, then that's the lethal spot. You know what I'm saying? And then I know you didn't really ask this, but the way I kind of got over that was honestly massively through music, because I just poured my heart out on the page in the safety of my own room. At that time, no one's, you know, there's no threat to me because it's just me and the page. And then by the time I've recorded it, you know, and put it out, I'm more comfortable with that truth, that vulnerability. And so then when, you know, I'm performing Late Night Thoughts and I see everyone singing the songs, singing the words along, it's like, wow, I've really overcome this. You see what I'm saying? I didn't even realize I did it.
So I mean, music is one of the answers, isn't it? But also it's kind of like introspection, isn't it? Just with oneself. Like the pen kind of forces that sometimes, you know what I mean? Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Okay. Again, yeah, what are some of the dangers of not opening up? I feel like you've already touched on it a little bit, but to you or maybe to other people, what's the danger of not being open?
I think ironically my insecurities were actually made worse by not opening up. You know, like I was scared to open up because it would give people an in to put me down, but actually by bottling it all up and constantly worrying about it, it made me feel more isolated, you know what I mean? Because when you have those conversations, when you open up, like, it's the most beautiful thing when, like, I don't know, I don't drink, right? But everyone, a lot of people around me drink, and when those people do drink, they always get more, like, you know, everyone opens up when they're drunk. And it's the most beautiful thing when you, like, you know, have that kind of conversation with someone, because it gives you this sense of, like, you know, I'm not the only, it's so basic, but I'm not the only one feeling these things. And when you don't open up, you don't enable that space to happen. You see what I'm saying? And you feel so isolated in it because you just don't know that everyone else is feeling this, because nobody else is opening up. And sometimes you got to open up, and then they open up, and it's like, yeah, it's just a big, beautiful thing. And then you just both, you know, bounce off each other, and you feel you've a huge sense of connection.
That's beautiful, man. Beautiful shit. Sorry for that one. Come on. And then, yeah, final question on this little back and forth is, how do you like to open up? What's your chosen method?
Yeah, well, as I said, my chosen method is music, by far. But that's kind of basic. But yeah, music, I love just to chat. I just love to chat. Like, I think, as I said earlier, like, it gives you such a beautiful opportunity. But for me, the main thing is music. Like, I like to, like, pour my soul out because it feels so good. And then to be able to share that with people, and when people say, like, oh, this song really resonated with me, that's just, like, the most fulfilling experience ever. So music, meditation in a weird way is opening up, because you're opening up to yourself. You're, like, actually asking yourself, how do I feel right now? And giving yourself space to feel that, as opposed to just, like, you know, oh, well, I've got to do something in 10 minutes, so, you know what I'm saying? So meditation is actually a great form of opening up to myself and, like, allowing myself to have that space to feel what I'm feeling. So yeah, music, meditation, and chatting with people.
Love that. Make some noise for JGM, bro. Love for coming through, man. Enough love, bro. Enough love. Need the reverb on that thing. Reverb. Cool. S, you're up next. Boy, better open up. One easy. Make some noise for S to the stage, please.
Yeah. SJR, what are we saying, people? We good? Yeah.
All right, first question is, when was the last time you opened up?
Last time I opened up, I think last time I opened up was literally yesterday. I was talking to my missus because I had this little dispute with my brother over the phone, and my mum brought it up again, and I was like, why's she talking to me about my brother? He pissed me off, and I'm trying to, you know, stay calm, and, you know, I'm not trying to get myself angry because I'm trying to be a peaceful guy and all that sort of stuff, yeah, but, you know, sometimes it doesn't always work out that way, and sometimes you just do get a bit angry, and sometimes you just have to let a bit of steam off, and I tried to explain that to her, and my girlfriend's a great person, yeah, she's able to listen to me and able to, you know, let me know if I'm in the wrong, or if I'm actually, if I'm thinking a bit too mad, you know, but yeah, no, it's good to open up, like, especially to her, because that's my person, you know what I mean, man?
Yeah. Preach that, man. And yeah, so if you don't open up, what might go wrong?
I think, like Jay Kari said, you know, you can boil over, and I've definitely been in that position before. Like, I've had moments in my life where I've held things in, and that one person just, you know, sets you off, you know, the straw that breaks the camel's back and that sort of stuff. But yeah, I try my best not to let myself get to that point, just because, you know, talking to people does help with that. And if you don't talk to people, you can boil over. And if keeping it to yourself is always the worst thing to do. It's always the worst thing to do, because, you know, you're never able to find out different ways of thinking and see how other people think if you don't talk to them and talk about how you're feeling, because they may be going through the same thing as well, you know what I mean? So, yeah, just talk to people, you know what I mean, bro? Just let it out. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Wicked. Okay, cool. Bit of a different question, but kind of on the flip side of that, what is the power of opening up? Like, why should we open up? What does it make better? You know what I mean? How can we grow from that?
I think you find out more about yourself when you open up. Like, I think a lot of us, we're trying to go through life, trying to be these peaceful people, trying to be this happy person all the time, always trying to present a nice or clean, perfect version of yourself. And actually opening up and talking to people from different walks of life, different sort of backgrounds, different sort of understandings of different things. You're able to find out who you really are from doing that. Like, you're able to find out if you resonate with what they think or if you don't actually agree with what they think. And it makes you be able to understand your way of thinking and how you deal with things. You know what I mean? How you're able to think a different way or give yourself a different perspective of different things. You know what I mean, bro? But yeah. Oh, it definitely helps the music, brother. Yeah. Definitely helps the music because I feel like I've been studying a lot of people and I've been studying a lot of their lives as well as when I'm listening to their music. Like, you learn how they grow up. You learn sometimes you got a lot of similarities with how they've grown up. You get a lot of things that may be different to how they've grown up. But we've all, especially with music, everyone's trying to make the same sort of goal. Everyone's trying to get to the same goal. So when you're able to learn how other people think and other people sort of deal with their own things, you're able to find yourself and able to, find the best possible version of yourself and best way to deal with your own things. You know what I mean, bro? Yeah.
Love that. Wicked. Cool. And then, so all right. So we've had, music, we've had meditation, we've had writing. What's your chosen preferred method of opening up?
I don't know, man. I feel like I've got a few different ways. It's never just the same sort of way that I open up because some people might be able to get you to open up a certain different way. I drink a lot. I do this, that, other. But that. Sometimes I'll open up that way. But sometimes I'll just have that conversation, take me out for a coffee or something, just talking to that brethren that you haven't talked to for a while, you know what I mean? Just find out what you actually are thinking about, because sometimes we push stuff all the way back, but that one person will just say like, oh yeah, how's this going? Or there's something that you haven't thought about for a while, you know what I mean? And like, I don't know, man, I just feel like you just got to think. You got to think for a second. Just take a step back and actually think for yourself. Like, how are you dealing? How are you dealing with this shit? Like, what is the shit that you're dealing with? What's the stuff that you pushed back all the way? Why are you dealing with it? How can you deal with it? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not every day. Be the best person you can, because we're not perfect people. We're not perfect people by any means, but we're trying to be perfect, and we're working towards it, and we're all working towards it. So, knowing that other people are around trying to help you be that perfect person, and we're trying to help them out as well. We got to do what we can, you know what I mean, brother? Yeah? Yeah.
Yeah, real shit, bro. Enough love, man. All right, make some noise for Ez, please. SJR. Yeah, man, Ez, up next. Real hometown, man. Year 7 shit, bro. Come on. Welcome. This is eott, man. You're part of it. Cool. All right, throwing it all the way back in a not sus way. When was the last time you opened up, bro, and how did that go?
Yesterday. Yeah, I opened up yesterday. Spoke with my dad about just a few things that's going on in life right now. So it was good. Recently, my dad's old school, so his era don't know about opening up as such or framing it this way. So hearing him try in new climates has just been better for me, man. It's helped me try and do the same thing and lead on. So yeah.
How do you see that he's trying, man?
He spent a lot of years, going through his trials and tribulations of life, man. So obviously, it's just kind of meant that he's, I'm sure there's a lot of things that he would have loved to do that he never got the chance to do. So, and I think he's understanding that a big part of that is just kind of saying that for what it is and communicating that. So it's just been a blessing to just to watch that happen.
Do you find it's helping your relationship?
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. It's different. Like, obviously, he's yard man. He's old school yard man. So these guys, it's let me not. Yeah, exactly. So it's nice. It's refreshing.
And for you, what's the challenge of opening up, man?
The challenge for me is mitigating everything that goes on internally when you're considering something, speaking something outwardly, like something that just seems challenging, you know? So the amount of times I've told myself, I want to have this conversation or I want to do this, and I've got that voice in the back of my head going, yeah, but this is going to happen, or this is going to happen, or the world's going to explode, or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, your mind can play tricks on you in moments like this, but I think growing up, navigating through discomfort has been so important to me. Like, not just being afraid of that feeling of discomfort and just immediately going into that like fight or flight of I don't like this, so I'm not going to approach it. You know, just feeling it and seeing what happens, man.
Cool. All right, and then on the flip side of that again, man, why should we open up, man? What does it bring you?
Puts my feet on the ground, boy. It's everything. I think it's everything is super important. It doesn't necessarily have to be, in my opinion, it doesn't have to be to, to everyone and everyone. It could just be one person. It could be a pen and pad. It could be translated into jogging and I don't know, anything. Do you know what I'm saying? But finding the time to do that for yourself it opens worlds for you as an individual to go and really make sense of things that you thought were, I don't know, just not really possible to make sense of once upon a time, you know?
Let's get the mic back. Let's get the mic back in there. I hope no one's recording that, bro. Cool. All right. So yeah, we spoke of the methods of opening up. Might not have to be your favorite way, but maybe one that's not been mentioned before tonight. What's a way that you like to open up? For me, personally, I don't really like to be face-to-face with someone. Kind of sounds a bit weird, but I'm much better at doing it if we're like sat next to each other, you feel me? And I can just look right there. I'm not amazing at eye contact generally, basically. So that's for me. I like to kind of be side by side. What's a way that you like to open up? Or what helps you open up, you feel me?
Mainly, I don't even know if I can say this. Can I say this? I can't even say this. It's not, okay, fine. Well, like over a bev or something of sorts, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But, not that I'm not condoning any of this, whatever else. Exactly, no, be wise. But similarly to you, I guess, in a way, I do like to be present with, whoever it is I'm trying to open up with. Not that great at eye contact either. It's mad, like, even with you, like, we've known each other how long, bro? And I'm there, like, who's this guy? Like, what? But yeah, I think mainly, yeah, man, just having the blessings of having your people around you and just them taking the time to just listen in, even if you feel like you got to do it with your back turned and so on and so forth.
Head in the pillow. Real shit. Man, that's real shit. Enough love. All right, make some noise for Ayers. Yeah, come on. Yes, bro. Yes. Thank you, bro. Marshall, I know you're itching, bro. I know you're itching, but you're coming. Oh, Timo's gone. Marshall, you're up. You're up, man. Come on, bro. Yes. Welcome to the stage, Marshall Manliangu. We all know Marshall, man. Come on. Make some noise. Make some noise. Hey, yo. All right, go on then. Last time you opened up, how did it go?
Last time I opened up, you saw me in a very masked place. So where I'm at in life right now is I've experienced some very recent autistic burnout. So what that basically means is that in the burnout, it basically has the body going through years and years of trauma resurfacing and getting to a point where I can actually be my true unmasked neurodivergent self. So I'd say the last time that you saw me, I was present, but I wasn't present in the body. So now that I'm actually being able to answer this question in a very unmasked way, it actually feels liberating to really say things for what they are and not try to hide behind the happy-go-lucky, goofy, comedic mask, Yeah, man. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay, cool. And yeah, maybe society, right?
Thank you. Societally.
Like culturally, like why can it be hard to open up?
Well, if I speak about this from like the black community perspective and the Congolese perspective, like just like what you were saying about the generation before us coming from a very old school time, I think that societally for them and a lot of us, as black men, black women, black non-binary, transgender people, that there is a lot of shame that comes with opening up, and it's not just because they can't open up. It's more so the societal stereotypes that come with opening up. So, for example, the classic, men don't cry, men don't do this. Like, men have to be, 100% like hard all the time. And for someone like myself, I never really conformed to the societal stereotypes of opening up because, I'm not ashamed to say it now. Like, I've always been very soft-natured, and I find it very important to open up because not only is it essential and beneficial to my well-being, but I think about the next generation after me that I'm going to be influencing because I want to be a dad one day, and like I want to be able to show my kids when I have them that like not only is it cool to open up, it should be like a normal part of your linguistics to open up. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely, and like when I think about it from a mental health perspective, like as someone that is chronically ill or disabled, neurodivergent, that there are like challenges from those side of things from when I think about the old school generation of opening up, that like these things may not have had labels put onto them yet because it's such a new thing that they're discovering, but also unfortunately for way back then it was quite taboo to talk about. And now where we are in an age of information where information is so easily accessible now that people who probably might have not been diagnosed before have an opportunity to actually do so and actually be given the resources to actually do it. So I think that societally, we still have quite a long way to go, given that we have the Andrew Tates, the Fresh and Fits, and even with adolescents being out now, I mean, I've not given it a watch yet, but like even just seeing toxic masculinity actually having a spotlight be put on it and actually like, having that be challenged, I feel like once more positive voices are able to really shed the light and really challenge the societal norms of what they believe masculinity to be, I think that we'll be in a very healed place. Like, whether it be in our lifetime, I don't know, but I think that the more we continue to have these conversations and actually challenge the alpha male norms of like, masculinity, then we'll all be in a place where not only will it be cool to share, but it will be normal too. Yeah.
That sounds like a beautiful world, man. That's exactly what we're striving for. I fully, wholly agree, man. Real shit. Okay, cool. And then the final question is, it doesn't have to be your favorite way, but what's a way in which you like to open up? Or what's something that helps you open up?
Well, as someone that's had counseling and therapy since the age of 13, I can honestly testify that I recommend that every brother in it try it. Like, it doesn't have to work for you, but in having a safe space where you can talk to a therapist and actually be able to shoot the stuff without being judged. I mean, the last session that I had, I literally like wound up crying in front of my therapist, and I'm not new to crying in front of people, but like, in the autistic burnout that I've been going through recently and being able to do that, my therapist literally, turned around and literally said that this was the first time that she had ever seen me unmasked and vulnerable. And from that moment on, like, it's me learning how to listen to my body now and actually being able to go, okay, if I feel sad, I'm going to allow myself to be, and it's liberating. I mean, I even broke down in front of the car with JJM, like, truly, and being able to know that I can truly break safely and be held within that, like, it not only helps me put my trust back in men, but also it helps me, like, realize that what was doesn't have to influence what is. And with therapy and counseling, like, again, I'm such a champion and advocate for that because I've had that for 15 years. So I really say therapy, counseling, music, of course, because, music is such a language of the soul. But I really think that, like, our village, and the elders that we have in it, I think that it would be beneficial for the elders in our community to really start the conversations, because that would then influence, us youngers and the people after us to actually, like, again, like, just normalize the conversation of, hey, like, you're right, like, I'm not just yeah, I'm fine, but like, no, but now what's really good, man, like, UKG, pun intended, but I think that once those conversations are initiated, it will only just continue to be such a normal thing for each generation after us to literally just continue to pay it forward and literally just break down the walls of masculinity, because it is toxic, absolutely, but there are also other elements of masculinity that are lovely, like, you know, being able to say I love you to your fellow, you know, brethren, not have that be weird to say, you know what I mean? So when we embrace our femininity, then we actually get to a point of masculinity. So Draggy, yeah.
Love that, bro. Enough love. Real shit, man. Real shit. Yeah, bro. All right. Thank you, man, all for your vulnerability so far, and wisdom and strength and power. Let's keep the conversation going, man. Timo, best till last. Had to be. Had to be. Not that there's favorites. Not that there's favorites. Just yet. Cool. Right. Back to the first question. When was the last time you opened up, and how did that go?
So that was today. So a friend of mine has been going through something that's quite personal to him, and we've been speaking for quite a long time about it. And today I thought, you know what, let me try something different and actually tell him about something, what I faced, what made me feel similar to what he's going through right now. And I think that through not trying to make it like something about me, but showing him that, you know, we all go through similar things. You're not alone. For me personally, that's how I started to be able to talk about my feelings. Was seeing people who I do respect sort of model that behavior for me, if you understand what I'm saying. Sometimes two people can give you the same like word of advice, but when it comes from somebody that you might think has had like a similar road as you, it can mean like so much more, if you get what I'm saying. So yeah, hopefully that helped him. Yeah, that was the last time that I actually opened up. Yeah. You think it went all right? I'll find out later on when he calls me. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, cool. And was it difficult? Like, what for you? What were some of the difficulties for it? Like, we've kind of been talking about generally and open up, but I'm interested because you've just said, if there was like a specific difficulty, you know what I mean?
Well, so for the last 2 years, I've been going to this men's support group. It's called Band of Brothers. So my friend Herbie took me over there. He was trying to get me to go for about 2 years, but then eventually, like, I went because I was going through like a really, really dark time. So I've been practicing, and yeah, today it kind of just flowed out. Really, I've been getting way better with it, and yeah, I've been seeing so many benefits for myself, but for the people around me as well. Yeah, because one of the things that you said earlier was like, you know, so what's the harm of like keeping things, you know, trapped in, all those type of things, and then like, you know, you might think that's the right way to deal with it, but you might just hold in things so much that one day you just crash out on maybe even like the people who have nothing to do with the situation that's actually causing you pain, or the people that's actually there that you love the most, if you get what I'm saying. And you know, because that can manifest in like so many different ways as well. But yeah, like most definitely, not just for myself, but for the people around me, it has been a great benefit. One thing I will say though, that is, soon as I saw people talk about their feelings, soon as I heard people, you know, spit bars about their feelings, because that was more of like a medium where I could like relate to that. That's when it wasn't just like someone telling me, oh, you know, you should talk about how you feel. It was, you know, actually, okay, not me like, we're going to talk about our feelings now, but it was like, okay, cool, we're here, we're just having a chat, boom, 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 and then, yeah, here we are today, and I'm talking on camera about my feelings. Who would have thought it, you know? Yeah, come on, man. Yeah.
You kind of mentioned bars there, so maybe that's one of the ways. But yeah, maybe that's a method for you of opening up. Do you have any others?
Well, talking about bars, there's a song by DMX, Slipping, Falling, I Can't Get Up, Slipping, you know, and he's one of the toughest guys of all time. And for that whole song, yeah, it just gives me goosebumps to even think about it right now. And but yeah, he's talking for a whole like 3 minutes about the absolute like darkest times of his life, but not necessarily in like a, you know, that was so fun. Like, actually talking about pain, like real feelings in like a real like vulnerable way. And that for me, it was kind of like a medium to be like, yo, you know what? It's okay. It's okay to speak out this shit, you know? Shout out DMX, RIP. Yeah, man.
Nah, Flav, right? Make some noise for Timmer, man. Come on, G. Yes, G. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, MCs, come in, man. Huddle in, bro. Huddle in, man. I'm looking lonely over here, man. Because now it's open discussion as well. Also, if anyone now wants to join and say something or chime in or has got a question, I'm sure you got something to say. Is it? No, maybe not today. Maybe. Who knows? We'll see how it goes, if we're lucky. Yeah. So if anyone wants to chat, you can join us here now as well. This is an open discussion, if anyone wants to go. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about masculinity. We're going to kind of keep it moving, kind of somewhat bite-sized answers in it. But what does positive masculinity look like?
Positive masculinity looks like being able to give your fellow brother a hug. It also looks like being able to. So no, I'm gonna get you the usual song, pun intended. Having a cup of tea with your brother. Oh God. But love you, bro. Word. Positive masculinity. Positive masculinity actually looks like having a discussion with everybody in this room and being able to look you all in the eye, as you know, uncomfortable as it is for me as an autistic person. But it's really beautiful in regards to positive masculinity being able to have the conversation in the first place, because then it literally enables all of you to literally, like, once this is all done, to literally go back out there and actually you know, no longer have the conversation of, you're right, literally be like, hey man, like, you know, is anything up that you want to talk about? And once you literally give people the space to do that, it literally then encourages conversations to then happen and a lot of healing to be done. And also, like, you know, I think for the women and female identifying people in the room, that I think that we as men have a responsibility to not just like take care of ourselves, but to to no longer use them as a means of like getting them to take care of us, where we can actually reach out to each other and do that for ourselves and each other. So yeah, man.
Yeah, I feel that. Last one. Who else has got something? Positive masculinity. What does it look like? What is an example of positive masculinity?
I feel like for me, yeah, it's knowing that it's okay to cry. It's okay to cry. Yeah, no, bro. It's so okay to, bro. Yesterday, yeah. I'll tell you, man, for free, yeah. Yesterday, I cried. I bawled my eyes out for a second, man. And then I brought back. I was like, yeah. No, you know what? Yeah, it's calm. But still, no. Being able to actually be in front of people, even just by yourself, yeah, because it's hard. It's hard as guys. You have to keep up this persona that, yeah, we're always good all the time with these perfect people. Yeah, you gotta thug it out. You know what I mean? But, bro, you need to cry sometimes, man. You're not a real person. You're not a human if you don't cry. Everyone needs to cry sometimes. That's what it's there for. That's what that was built into us for. We need to do it. So, knowing that you're able to cry and it don't mean nothing, it just makes you a better person for able to get those feelings out, because those feelings are there for a reason, man. If you push that shit back, you ain't gonna be the person that you're supposed to be if you don't cry. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's okay to cry, man. It's so okay.
Man, real shit. Jakari, bro, we ain't heard from you since the start, because you were the first. I want to hear your voice in it before we go on to the next question.
I was just thinking about this then, but I'm on one second. I don't know if this makes sense here, but I think positive masculinity is being the male role model that you maybe didn't have growing up, sort of thing. I think sometimes not, I can't speak for everyone, but I didn't always have like a positive male role model in my life, so that caused me to like crash out and be like emotional and loads of different things. And then I kind of realized one time, like, what do I want to be to my children? Let me just start being that now, even though I haven't had that the entire time. Do you know what I mean? So I don't want to walk around and be an angry young man because I didn't always have the best experiences. I want to be the complete opposite, so I can ensure that my children or whoever else doesn't have that. Do you know what I mean? That's that.
That's positive masculinity, bro, right there, man. Real shit, man. Real shit. Okay. Anyone in the room want to chime in? Any examples of positive masculinity that we can think of? Go on. Knew it, mate.
Yeah, so it's good, people. Yeah, I'd probably say just. Oh, hey, yeah. Yeah, just jamming with your boys is always just positive and just being with each other and just chilling out. You know what I mean? Even if it's just like linking up and sitting on the beach for a bit, then you kind of like connect in some way. Like I'm always gassed, like when I go link my boys and we're just jamming together, we're enjoying music, and then I go home and I think, oh yeah, I feel blessed. You know what I mean? But sometimes if I'm feeling like a really bad way, then like my boy would just sit with me and it would just kind of like soak it in. You know what I mean? So yeah, big up everyone who just jams with their friends and really just takes it in.
Support, man. Yeah, it's not always that deep, innit?
Yeah, try.
Bro. Appreciate that. Cool, bro. Cool. All right, we're going to move on to the final question before we open it up to the room. If you do have any questions, you don't have to. No pressure, but the chance will soon come. But here is the last question. Anyone can answer. When does masculinity go too far? What are some of the dangers of masculinity, either inward or culturally? Okay, well,
sometimes some shit might happen to you, and sometimes you might feel as though you have to do something back. If you get what I'm saying. So people might not actually say to you like, oh, if you don't ride out, you're a bitch or whatever type shit. But that is definitely something that I've experienced, and I've seen people go down even worse roads when they felt that pressure and like maybe wish they would have spoken to me or like wish that there was somebody out there for them to talk to about those things. But yeah, for me personally, that is like a strong example of, you know, how masculinity, or I guess you could call it what's like stereotypically masculinity, can go too far. Yeah, it's a pretty deep one, but yeah, man, yeah.
I feel that. Yeah, I know what you're saying, innit? Even on like a more, like a less sort of dramatic level, I can feel that on a day-to-day, to be fair. Even with some of my closest boys. Like, if they say something to me, I'm like, excuse me? Do you know what I mean? Especially if I'm in a type of way, I'm like, oh, I'm going to say something back just because you said something to me. You feel me? Yeah, go on then. Hit it.
So, to better understand your question, I'll literally answer it this way. I think that masculinity goes too far when emotions are left unchecked. Now, to further expand on our answer, let's use anger and rage, right? You know, those are two very classic, you know, masculine emotions or emotifs to feel and act on. But I think that if one doesn't have, or, you know, at least apply the emotional intelligence to actually understand the reason why you feel as such before you act on that, then that's where I feel like, you know, not only does masculinity in that sense go too far, but then it also applies to the potential harm that could literally end up happening to somebody else, even if you don't mean to, because sometimes, you know, we may accidentally create other victims along the way if we literally don't check ourselves, or at least have other people around us to put us in check. So I think that when we actually understand and break down the reasons as to why we feel the way we do, we can actually then channel it in other ways, like, you know, for example, like I said before, you know, therapy, or being able to cry, or literally being able to give somebody a phone call and literally being like, hey man, like, you know, I felt very uncomfortable about this certain thing, and I think it would help to, you know, really address that and talk about it, and actually leave room for potential reconciliation. And even if it can't be reconciled, at least the conversation's been had and you can go your separate ways. But I think that, like, you know, where, you know, the old school generation come from the generation of like, yo, let's literally duke this out with our hands. Like, unfortunately, we live in a world where, you know, people would rather sort things out with a shank or a gun and, you know, literally take somebody else's life away for no other reason other than your feelings got hurt. As valid as that may be, but like, again, like, it's that thing of like being careful of like creating potential victims that didn't need to have their lives taken away over something that could have easily been resolvable. But I think that's literally more societal, which then leaks into the personal. So, yeah.
A vicious cycle, innit? JJM, let's hear from you. Love for that, Marshall, man. It's real.
This isn't a very well thought out. I was kind of just thinking of this while I was standing here, so please forgive me if I ramble. Yeah, freestyling, yeah. I have a very interesting relationship with masculinity because I had an excellent relationship with my dad until I was 16. And then for the past like 5 years, I've not had any men in my immediate family. So I've felt quite isolated as a man outside of, you know, my friends. But there's only so much friends can do, if you know what I'm saying. Like, And so I've kind of, it's like when you asked me the other day, what do I consider to be positive masculinity? I found it really hard to answer. And then when you asked me what I consider to be negative masculinity, I was instantly like this, and this. And so I've been given a lot of thought, and I think actually, when I think of negative masculinity, obviously the first person that comes to everyone's mind is Andrew Tate. And I've kind of, my perspective has shifted that actually that's not negative masculinity, that's just a deeply unhappy person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not sure if there is such thing as positive or negative masculinity, or positive or negative femininity. I think you're just either a good person or an unhappy person. I think if you're an unhappy person, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, or if you're masculine or feminine, you're going to hurt other people. And it's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Yeah, because everyone's got both masculinity and femininity in them, and so if only men can be negatively masculine, then doesn't that kind of, shortly, doesn't that defeat the point? Like, if we have both, yeah, sorry, I'm kind of figuring it out as I go along.
I feel that. Yeah, that's beautiful, man. Great point to end on. So anyone in the room wants to ask a question, now is the time. Straight up. Get your ass over here, boy. No, sorry, I didn't mean it.
Thanks. I just want to follow on what you were saying about, so something I heard someone say was, hurt people. And then when you're all talking about vulnerability, it's like the only way you can get rid of that hurt is if you actually show it's there. So there's this whole thing, what I'm hearing tonight, is if we don't want to stop people hurting people, you've got to start showing that you're hurt. Showing that you're hurt. So that's one thing I'm learning. The other thing was about anger, which I'm really curious about, because I personally don't have a great relationship to anger. And there's, you talked about rage and anger. I'd be curious to hear if you have a perspective on healthy anger.
I do.
Ooh,
What a surprise,
No, I do, because believe it or not, have you ever heard the saying that it takes a lot of violence to be gentle? And I can honestly say that as someone that is quite gentle-natured, that there is a lot of untapped potential in me that I am now aware of. And I relate that to my autistic burnout and having to really know my shadow self, that there is a lot of rage, a very very heavy amount of volcanic anger that is yet to be tapped into. But one way that I channel that is through grime. So I pretty much have a alter ego that I use, Speed Demon, CM17, and that's literally what I call rage made manifest into just writing the sickest bars and being able to channel that kind of energy into something positive, because it enables me to really own and accept that it's there. But what helps me really channel that as a means of anger management is being able to go to a rave or a Baked Beats or whatever, or even this, and literally be able to go, okay, there are some things that I literally wrote when I was angry that I can literally translate into the sickest bar that will initiate the reload, but at least I know that it's been alchemized into something transformational as opposed to it just sitting in me, knowing that it's just got to come out in some form of way. So I prefer to channel that volcanic rage and that untapped potential musically, which then enables me to literally go, because anger is always going to be there. But I think one thing that I'm learning about myself is acceptance. And when you are able to accept that these emotions exist in you, that way you can actually be able to move forward with it as opposed to trying to move on from it, because anyone can literally move on from anything in the world, but it's always going to be there. But when you literally are able to move forward knowing that it's happened and that it exists, it literally then creates a future where it doesn't have to necessarily influence how you're going to get to the next 5, 10, 20 years, So I pretty much just maintain that. Yeah, man. Yeah, man, because we as do it, because unfortunately, we as men, as brothers, as male identified people, we often hear the thing of nah, man, you just gotta move on. No, because it only delays the process of the pain actually being there, that it will literally then manifest into something worse. So that's why with my relationship with anger now, understanding myself as I turn 28 years old in 2 weeks, that acceptance. Acceptance. Because, like, the past is the past and ain't nothing that we can do about it to change it. But accepting it will literally then enable us to be grounded in the present to then create a better future for ourselves. So, acceptance and being able to... No, real talk. Like, when you are able to accept that it's there, then you can truly make the steps needed to move forward. And that's why I say validate your anger, accept that it's there, but also use that validation and that acceptance to literally use that as fuel to be better. Because it's like what Kratos said in God of War, we must be better. And by that, validation and acceptance.
Yeah, that's real shit, man. Real shit. Thank you, Marshall, man. Ez, or Ez, I want the next question to be answered by one of you two. Can I just quickly say something in addition to what you... Go on. Perfect. There we go, man.
Just quickly. It's not as flashy as and wordy and articulate as yourself. I'm sorry, yeah, forgive me. But another kind of healthy outlet for anger if you don't feel so creative and so like we can channel this into the 140s because it's a gift. It's a gift for some. It's not everyone's exercise, man. Like, you know, if you're blessed enough to have limbs, yeah, I swear to God, yeah, if you're mad, I know this sounds crazy, but if you're mad, just sprint. I swear down, just sprint. Just do a 100-meter dash. I swear to God, you won't be as angry as you was. You won't be as angry as you was. Come on, it's real, I swear down. So whatever it is, you don't even need to be good at it, you know. There's rage rooms set up for this stuff as well. Like you can go and smash up some ceramic plates if you need to, with a suit on, pillows, all of that. So exercise, man. I'm telling you, you get that when you get all choked up and you're mad at something, and you can feel your heart just going mad. Like exercise, bro. I'm telling you, just do something and along those lines, get your body moving, and you'll chill. I think.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, I love that. Cool. All right, we got one more question from the room. Anyone? My man. Also, I would like to apologize as well for what I said to the last person who asked the question. On camera. I won't do it again. Go on. Please come up here, sir.
Do you think you guys, all as being artists and being in like a rap cypher here, that masculinity has been like misrepresented in today and in music right now? And do you think as artists you guys have a responsibility or even a chance to make a difference and like change how masculinity is represented? Gabriel.
That's a great question.
Yeah, firstly, yeah, great question. Great question. I think, whilst I was hearing your question, I was thinking, you know, the people that are rapping these days, the people that we're seeing these days, yeah, they're rapping it the way that they know how to do it, the way that they know how to, you know, let their feelings out. And yeah, it may seem like, oh yeah, they're these gangster guys, yeah, they're the hardest dons on this fucking earth, yeah. But that's the only way they know how to do it. That's the only way they've been taught how to do it. And I think for us, I think being a bit more conscious, I think being a bit younger, growing up in this generation that we have been growing up in, we're able to know that it's okay to not be okay, yeah? And we know that there are other avenues and other ways to be able to show that, yeah, we are these hard guys. We've got these things that are going on in our lives, yeah? But we're still not okay. We're still broken people, yeah? But with these guys going on right now, yeah, like I said, they already know, that's the way that they know how to do things. That's the way they know how to let steam off and sort of stuff like that. They're still going through their own sort of stuff, yeah? They're still probably going to therapy, but people won't know that because that's behind the cameras, yeah? That's behind the cameras. I think as people that are growing up in this city or, you know, come here, because we've chosen to come to Brighton, because we know that this is a place that accepts people, yeah? We're able to actually talk about the way we're feeling between each other. And probably they're doing that themselves as well, but we'll never know that. We'll never know that until they let us know that they're doing that. We've got this space here that we're able to talk to each other and talk between other artists, yeah, which we all respect. Like I've probably heard all these men spit, yeah, fucking sick bars, yeah, hardest bars, yeah. But I know that each and every one of us are going through our own sort of stuff, yeah. And I know for myself, like, I'm a human. I'm going through my sort of stuff, yeah. I hand on heart, I'm going through some shit, yeah. But I'm here today to be able to tell you that, yeah, I am going through that sort of stuff. But I'll still spit the sickest bars you'll ever fucking hear. You know what I mean, bro? Yeah. And so are they. They're spitting their sickest bars as well. But you never know what's going on until someone tells you what's going on. But we're able to do that today. We're able to say that to you today. They'll do it when they're ready to do it. You know what I mean, brother? Yeah? Yeah.
I'm sorry. No. Go, we got 2 more answers, bro. I want Ayers or one of you two at the end, bro, because we haven't heard from your voice. I appreciate it, Marsh, but you want to share the mic round, innit?
I know you got something to say, bro. I did. You remind me of the question again. Yes, I do. Rap, nowadays, rap's kind of evolved, in my opinion. Rap's, it's changing. It's not all about the stigmas that were once attached to it back in the days. But I think with that comes a lot of responsibility to those that want to jump onto this thing. And I think people underestimate a lot the power and the importance of words and the strength of words and the following behind this stuff. We see all these drill artists come out, and because they've backed with loads of numbers and they've got all their boys around them doing all of these dances and all this stuff, yeah, we think this is the wave, this is what's happening. But each to their own. Like, I'm not going to slew entirely, but I think, it creates bad, it can create bad, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, bad representation, thank you much. Yeah, it creates bad representation of the scene as a whole and what's going on. So, if there was any upcoming artists or just writers in general that felt like they was boxed in because they had something to say, but it didn't have anything to do with what's trending or where the numbers are going, see through that, man. Like, go beyond that, because there's a lot of people listening to that type of stuff, and I think people are waiting to listen to that type of stuff. I think, to be quite honest with you, the negative connotations behind music is getting a little bit rubbed out nowadays. I think more people want to listen to something that makes them feel good than not. So, yeah, I would say it's badly represented, but I would definitely say it's on its way to becoming better represented.
Real shit. You got something to say? You want to say something? Cool. All right, final one. Take us home, Jakari, please.
I might have to get you to repeat the question again as well. My memory's tapped. It is a really good question. It is. Did you say, because it was a great question, do you feel like within rap, masculinity is misrepresented? All right, cool. Yeah, similar answer to you. Yeah, I do think so. I think when I first started getting into rap, I was like 14, 15 or something, and it was like an outlet. So I'd be listening to some drill in my bedroom in Guildford. That I'm just, you know what I mean? And I think, yeah, this is hard. Yeah, I feel better now, because I feel like that's what the top guys are feeling like, or you know what I mean? Maybe representing. And as I've got older, obviously you realize, can you swear? Oh, that's just complete horse shit. And I think masculinity within music, especially within rap, like Marshall said, as we evolve as people, that will also evolve. So yeah, sick question.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful shit, man. Thank you for the question, bro. Enough love. And you as well. Cool. All right, and that is it. That is it. For about 5 or 10 minutes, we're going to take a short break, and we're going to get in some bars, some beats, some real shit. You've been hearing them talk. You've been hearing the people behind the lyrics, and now we're going to hear the lyrics. So, finally, one final time, please make some noise for their vulnerability and strength.